Let's see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome into the TJTRacing Podcast. I apologize for the last stream. I'm having some technical issues, but we're back now. I'm back. And for the first time, I get to say we're live on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. I'm not going to do like Gary Parrish on the Eye on College Basketball Podcast. I'm like, hey, YouTube. I'm not going to do that. But we are live on my YouTube channel. Hello to everyone watching. And if you're listening to this after the fact, I do want to thank you for listening. And you can now listen on Google Podcast if you get your podcast there. You can see it if you're watching on YouTube, scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcast, and iHeartRadio is where you can get all of your podcast, or where you can get this podcast. So, yeah. So, without further ado, let's talk about last night first, before we get too far into the weeds with this weekend's action. Let's start with last night. The two dual races at Daytona. The first one was kind of, it was ho-hum. It was all right, I guess. The second one was very entertaining, I gotta say. It was a little, it kind of kept the vibe going, so to speak. So yeah, it kind of kept things going. It made things a little more entertaining, so to speak. But it wasn't a bad night last night. Your front row, of course, Alex Bowman and Kyle Larson. And I tweeted this the other night during qualifying. I was thinking to myself, what does Alex Bowman put in his car that makes it so fast at Daytona? I don't understand it. I really don't. And by the way, guys, if you have questions, I'm going to try to get some of your questions in during the live stream here. So if you're watching in real time, see if, or I'll try to get to your questions. If you have any, or your comments as well, put them in the chat. I'll try to get to them a little bit later. But and also, one more thing before we get too far into the weeds. I will be going live after the race on Sunday, so that'll be fun. We're going to recap the entire race and the entire race weekend, and we're previewing the entire weekend on today's episode of the podcast. And if you're new to this podcast, which a lot of you probably are because I've been doing this for a few weeks now, just audio only, but I now have the opportunity to do this live on video. So we're doing it live today, and we're going to, like I said, do it after the race on Sunday. I don't know what time we're going to be going live. I'm going to be going live on Sunday, but I'm going to be going live on Sunday after the race. So chime in with your thoughts, and of course I'll be live tweeting during the race. At TJ Temple Media is my Twitter handle, so feel free to join me over there. So now let's preview this weekend. Of course, tonight, the Craftsman Truck Series. A little nod to the past there with the Craftsman Truck Series, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, the Truck Series gets their season underway tonight. I'll be watching on FS1. Hope you will be as well. I'll be watching tonight. A great weekend of racing ahead. I'm looking forward to seeing how Haley Deegan does this year. And I don't want to just nitpick on one driver, but she has not done well in her truck. I shouldn't say well. It hasn't done well. That's a bit of a stretch. She hasn't done as well as she could be doing in the truck series, but I think it's because that's not her thing. But like I said, leave your thoughts in the comments or in the chat, and just let me know what you think about what I think, and I'll maybe read some of your comments later on in the episode here. So, but yes, truck series tonight. Qualifying is a little later on this afternoon. If you're watching live, if you're listening, it probably already happened. But, Truck Series racing tonight. I'm excited. Truck Series always puts on a good show at Daytona. I certainly think so. And then of course we have the ARCA race tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to the ARCA race. I haven't been in recent years because the racing there has just not been very good. It hasn't been good. It's been a single file freight train pretty much the entire race, but I'm hoping that changes this year. But that's not really the real big reason why I'm excited. I'm really excited because we have Frankie Muniz. You may know that name if you're of a certain age, like me. You might remember him from Malcolm in the Middle. He was in Malcolm in the Middle. Or, like me, you might remember him from the movie Big Fat Liar with Amanda Bynes and Paul Giamatti. He is now an ARCA Series driver. And I'm really hoping he does well. He was actually fastest in practice, in first ARCA practice the other day. And that kind of warmed my heart. I'm hoping he does well in his first race in ARCA. And I never knew he was not only just a race fan, but actually a competitive racer himself. I never knew that. But he's going to be racing in his first ever ARCA race tomorrow, and I am very, very excited to see how well he could possibly do in the ARCA Menards series. And hopefully this is just a stepping stone, a start of a great career in NASCAR for Frankie Muniz, the actor now turned racer. I am very excited. I can't wait to see how well he does in the ARCA race, hopefully tomorrow afternoon. Then, of course, the Xfinity Series. Now, the little gripe that I have about the Xfinity Series race, why is it starting so late? It's starting at 5 o'clock. Why is it starting so late? I don't understand. I mean, I know they probably want to get the race going into night, but why? Both JC, who everybody knows, JC1424, he's chiming in on the chat saying both of my favorite guys were fastest in practice yesterday, or fastest in practice, excuse me. I'm excited. I'm sure, I think one of your guys is Logano, isn't that right, JC? And that's another thing. They should have had practice before the dual races last night, even before qualifying on Wednesday night, because if you see what happened to Connor Daly, who got into the big race, by the way, he got in, and I'm happy about that. He got in, and if you see what happened, his car was just bouncing up and down for some reason. Something was up with the suspension. But still, he persevered, he got through it, he got in to the big race, and I'm happy about that. I'm glad he got in. But let's hope he gets a good finish. So I was kind of hoping Elio would be able to go, but obviously not. Then, of course, on Sunday, the big race, the Great American Race, the Daytona 500 on Sunday. Again, the time, it starts at 2:30. Why? I don't know. That's annoying, but still, I'm excited. In recent years, I hadn't been as excited, but today or this year, I got some anticipation. I'm ready for it. And of course, our good friend Brendan, if you don't know him, Brendan Littell, he's down there, and he's got it. Whoops, sorry about that. He's down there, and he was probably at the race last night. I don't know, but anyway, I'm excited. Bowman and Larson, my boy Larson, on the front row. I'm not gonna dare make a prediction, even though I got the one at the Coliseum right. If you listen to this podcast, I guessed Martin Truex Jr. to win the Clash. I got it right. I just took a shot in the dark, and I got it right. So, I'm not going to even try to guess, but I will say that those Fords were fast last night in the duel races. Both of them swept it. Logano and Almirola won both duels. Those Fords are going to be fast tomorrow or Sunday in the big race. They will. Yeah, but I mean, Frankie was fast. I couldn't believe it. I'm happy about that, though. I'm happy he was fastest in practice yesterday, or not yesterday, but whenever it was. But I'm glad to hear that because I'm hoping he really does well in his first ARCA race. And like I said, I hope it's a great start to hopefully a good career in NASCAR, whether that's with ARCA, moving his way up the ranks to join the Cup Series. But I am going to give you a couple drivers to watch out for. Obviously, like I said, the Fords. They were fast. They were fast yesterday in the duel races. But also, watch out for Kyle Busch, I think. He said he had a Daytona 500 winning car last night after he wrecked. And it's very possible. I mean, he hasn't won it yet. But keep an eye on that 8 car. I'm going to have to get used to saying the 8 car because he's now in the 8 car, not the 18. So that's going to be a little weird, I will say. But just keep an eye on that 8 car. I think he'll do well in Sunday's Daytona 500. So, like I said, I'm not making a prediction, but I am excited for this weekend. Tonight, of course, the truck race, FS1. Tomorrow, the ARCA and the Xfinity race, both on FS1, and then Sunday, the Great American Race on Fox. And I truly am very, very excited. Again, we're going to be live after the race on Sunday. So we're doing this live today, the preview. But we are also going to be live following the Great American Race. I don't know what time. It'll probably be about, I'd say 7 o'clock, maybe. We'll try to be on a little after 7, depending on what time the race ends. Just keep an eye on the TJT Podcast Facebook and Twitter feeds. It's at TJT Podcast on both Facebook and Twitter. Like and follow those pages to get updates on when we will go live following the races or following the race on Sunday. I'm not going live tonight or tomorrow, but after the race on Sunday, join me. I'm going to be live on here and we're going to be talking. We're going to have some fun stuff we're going to talk about. Hopefully, maybe even another first-time winner. We've had some streaks. We've had a pretty good little streak of some first-time winners at Daytona with Michael McDowell back in, I think, 2019. I think it was 2020. And then, of course, last year was Cindric. Maybe that was 21. I don't remember. But it's going to be a big weekend. I hope you get to join me right here on the TJT Racing Podcast. Like I said, you can listen on Anchor, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and now you can listen on Google Podcast. If you get your podcast via Google Podcast, you can now subscribe to the TJT Racing Podcast there. So we're on a lot of different platforms. So no reason for you not to listen. Follow on Spotify. Rate. Give me 5 stars if you like it. If you don't like it, tell me what I can do better. Because I'm always listening to you guys. I want your feedback. And of course, like I said, TJT Podcast on Facebook and Twitter. It's podcast plural, PODCASTS. That's plural. Where you'll get updates on when I'll go live. You can give me your feedback, positive, negative, constructive. I want it all. I want to hear what you guys have to say. And of course, I'll be live tweeting during the race on Sunday, and then we'll be going to be right back here live Sunday evening following the race to recap everything over the weekend. The ARCA race, the truck race, the Xfinity race, Daytona 500. We're going to recap it all on Sunday. So feel free to join me, please. And like I said, if you're listening, I do appreciate you people who are listening too. I'm not forgetting about you guys. If you're listening to this after the fact, just like I said, stay tuned to the podcast feed on. Oh, Denny, thank you, JC, for clearing that up. Denny Hamlin was 19. McDowell was 21. Thank you. Thank you for clearing that up. 2020. Yeah. Denny Hamlin won it 2 years in a row. McDowell won it 21. So, yeah, we've had 2 years of a first-time winner. Can we make it 3? It's possible, because if you're in, you have a shot to win. And we all know that. But hopefully we don't have like what we had last year with Harrison Burton, with that flip on the backstretch. And hopefully not a wreck fest. Want a good race. I think we all do. So, yeah, that's. I think that's going to do it for our weekend preview. Again, let me know what you think. Follow me on Twitter. Follow the TJT Podcast on Twitter. Like the podcast page on Facebook for updates all weekend. I'll let you know when we'll go live, and I will talk to you again then. That's on Sunday after the race. I don't know when we're going to be live, but sometime after the race on Sunday. And for those of you listening, like I said, you can find us anywhere. Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, except, of course, for Apple Podcasts. We're not there. But Anchor, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast. Listen to the podcast. Enjoy it. Love it. Let me know what you think. And I'll talk to you guys again Sunday night following the Great American Race. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the racing. And I will see you Sunday evening. Take care, everybody.